everybody! So today is kind of a different video. I am here to give my responses to the Oscar nominations that came in this morning, and it's going to be sort of more casual. I'm not really going to edit this that much, and we'll just talk about, I'm going to go over the list and give you some of my thoughts. Best Picture, the nominees were The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. And I must say, I have seen all of these films, which was definitely not the case last year. I think they're all really good films, except for I would not have put Bridge of Spies on the list. I just didn't think it was that good. It's very well made, it's very well acted, but to me it was really conventional and kind of boring, and I fell asleep during the courtroom scene, which is supposed to be so emotional. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. Director, we have Adam McKay, The Big Short, George Miller, Mad Max Fury Road, Alejandro Inarritu for The Revenant, Lenny Abrahamson, Room, and Tom McCarthy, Spotlight. And this is a pretty good list. I'm a little surprised no Danny Boyle for Steve Jobs. I would have loved to have seen in my dream world a Pete Docter for Inside Out, but I guess the big surprise here for me is Adam McKay for The Big Short. I did not think that that would get a nomination, but I'm really glad because he definitely took a lot of creative risks and tried some different things. And I thought Todd Haynes would get nominated for Carol, so that's a surprise. So Best Actor, you have Bryan Cranston for Trumbo, which I have not heard good things about. I heard it's not a very good movie, but I'm sure he's good in it. And then Matt Damon, The Martian. No Ridley Scott for Best Director. I just noticed that. That's a little surprising. Okay, so Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. So I think those are all pretty solid nominations. I haven't seen Trumbo, I haven't seen The Danish Girl, but I think you're looking at a race between Michael Fassbender and Leonardo DiCaprio, and I think that Leonardo DiCaprio will win because it's such a grueling performance, and the Oscars always like performances that you either have to lose weight for or you have to face some kind of that are really hard to make, and I just think he has sort of the sympathy because he's been nominated so many times before. So it is a good performance, so I have no problem with him winning. Okay, Best Actress, Cate Blanchett, Carol, Brie Larson, Room, Jennifer Lawrence, Joy, Charlotte Rampling, 45 Years, and Saoirse Ronan, Brooklyn. Yay! I'm so excited Saoirse Ronan got a nomination. She was great in that movie. She would be my pick out of these choices. I've seen 45 Years, but I heard it's really good. I wouldn't have been surprised if Helen Mirren had gotten nominated for Woman in Gold, even though I didn't really love that movie. She's very good in it, so that surprised me a little. Best Supporting Actor, Christian Bale, The Big Short, Tom Hardy, The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo, Spotlight, Mark Rylance, Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester Stallone, Creed. And I would have picked Steve Carell from The Big Short if I was going off that movie, or I think even Brad Pitt is actually, I think, a little bit better than Christian Bale. I mean, it's pretty much I don't know, I just feel like Christian Bale's character isn't that interesting, whereas Brad Pitt's character is sort of unpredictable and hard to figure out, and I don't know, I think he does a better job. But Steve Carell is like the emotional heart of that film, so I think he's better than Christian Bale. But the rest of these nominations I have no problem with, and I think Sylvester Stallone will win, and I think he deserves to win. Although Mark Rylance was really good in Bridge of Spies, even though I didn't really like the film that much. Best Supporting Actress, Jennifer Jason Leigh, The Hateful Eight. Very little Hateful Eight love in this nominations, which is interesting, and that movie has not done well at the box office, so it's very, very interesting. Rooney Mara, Carol, Rachel McAdams, Spotlight, Alicia Vikander, The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet, Steve Jobs. And I think that it's really interesting because Rooney Mara is in Carol more than Cate Blanchett. Like, or at least equal. Like, she's not the supporting actress. It's her story. The movie is about her. She's the lead character. She's the one narrating it. Like, she, this is really weird. But, you know, she's good in it, so yay. I guess they didn't want them competing against each other, so whatever. You know, I haven't seen The Hateful Eight. I haven't seen The Danish Girl. I would love a Rachel McAdams for Spotlight, but I think it'll go to Kate Winslet in Steve Jobs, who is excellent in that film. So I would have no problem with her winning for that movie. Best Original Screenplay, Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, yay! Spotlight, and Straight Outta Compton. So this is really interesting because the only nomination I think the Straight Outta Compton got, it didn't even get score or song or anything like that, was in Best Original Screenplay. It's sort of weird, but whatever. I haven't seen it. But Spotlight, it's going to win, and it is great. So it deserves to win, although I loved Inside Out. And Bridge of Spies, come on, the screenplay was not very good. It was so conventional. It was so maudlin. It was boring. The screenplay was nothing special. Like, if you love the acting, if you love how it was made, but the screenplay, come on, it was not that good. Original screenplay, no nomination for Aaron Sorkin after he just won the Golden Globe. He's everyone's favorite. People love him. Aaron Sorkin fan, as most people are. He's very talented in many ways, but I am surprised that he didn't get nominated, for sure, for Steve Jobs, because the dialogue was really strong in that film. Best Adapted Screenplay, we have The Big Short, Brooklyn, Carol, The Martian, and Room. And I've seen all of these films, and they're all really good adaptations, I think. I think this is a solid list. I really do. I mean, a side of me would want to give it to The Big Short because it had such a hard task in adapting what it had adapted. Martian was a great movie. I loved it. But as far as adaptation, I actually think there were a couple things in the book that were a little bit better, as particularly ending. So I don't know if I would actually give adapted screenplay to The Martian, even though I loved the film. I think I would give it to Nick Hornby and Brooklyn. That, to me, I haven't read the book, so I guess it's a little bit hard to say. But I loved that movie. I thought it was so well executed, and I would love it to get some recognition. So then we get to the Best Animated Feature, which is probably the one you're the most curious for my thoughts on. And we have the nominees: Anomalisa, Boy and the World, Inside Out, Shaun the Sheep movie, and When Marnie Was There. So, big surprises here. Boy in the World, that came out of nowhere. I've heard of it, and it just started to get a release from G Kids, and it's not playing in my city, and I don't see it on any of the independent theater timelines. When I'll get a chance to see it, it does look beautiful, so maybe it's a great movie. I don't know. Like, that really surprised me, that nomination, but maybe it's a Song of the Sea of this year. I don't know. But no Peanuts movie. Peanuts movie deserved to be nominated. The movie was so special and sweet, and just the animation, if you're rewarding an animated feature film, the animation was amazing in Peanuts movie. It was something that had never quite been done. It had a whole unique look that had never been done in CG, the way that it was done in a feature film. So that to me is a big miss. I don't understand not including Peanuts movie. That movie was so well executed. Difficulty of the task that they had to do in adapting such a popular work can't be overstated. I guess they just didn't think it was that creative, but I just don't understand how you can nominate Bridge of Spies, which wasn't that creative and wasn't... You nominate that for Best Picture and Peanuts movie, you fault because of originality? I don't get it. But, and then The Good Dinosaur doesn't get nominated, which really wasn't a big surprise for me. I thought that When Marnie Was There would probably take its spot, and I was okay with that, because I loved When Marnie Was There. But I am surprised to not see the Peanuts movie and The Good Dinosaur both not on the list. That surprises me, but there you go. Okay, best cinematography. We have Carol, The Hateful Eight, Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, and Sicario. I have not seen Sicario or The Hateful Eight. I think this one is a lock. It will go to Emmanuel Lubezki for The Revenant, and it is deserved. That cinematography was amazing. Costume design nominations go to Carol, Cinderella, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant. I guess having lots of furs and stuff counts as costumes, which is cool. So that's fine for The Revenant. But I would have loved to see Brooklyn. But I guess since they'd already nominated Carol, which has very similar style of costumes, they went with one or the other. Glad to see Cinderella get nominated. That's 2 nominations for Sandy Powell this year with Carol and Cinderella. And if you don't know, like, the costumes designers in Hollywood are like such an exclusive group. There's like 3 women who've gotten something like 20 of the last, like, they've gotten like 20 nominations between the 3 of them. I don't know. This one's a tough one. I don't know who will win this one. I really don't. I could see The Danish Girl winning. I could see Cinderella winning. I could see Carol winning for this one. So I'm not sure. Best documentary feature: Amy, Cartel Land, The Look of Silence, What Happens, Miss Simone, and Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom. So this is interesting because 2 of these films are Netflix films, I guess. Winter on Fire and What Happened, Miss Simone. So I haven't seen either of those. I actually have only seen Amy, and I didn't like it. I think it's overrated. I thought they used way too much of the home video. And it just got nauseating after a while, and I don't know. I didn't think it was that good. I didn't feel like I learned that much about her that I didn't know. But I think it probably will win, but I think it's overrated. Best film editing: The Big Short, Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, Spotlight, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. So this is the first Star Wars mention on the nominations. It was a very well edited film, so that's cool. And I think that Big Short is good to see. That film was also very well edited, but I think in this case, Mad Max will win for editing. Best foreign film: Embrace of the Serpent, Mustang, Son of Saul, Threeb, and A War. I haven't seen any of these movies, but I've heard The Son of Saul is really good, so I think that one will win. Best makeup and hair: there's only 3 nominees for this, which I don't really understand why there's not 5. Who knows what the rules are. I would think that Cinderella had great makeup, so I'm not sure why that one didn't get nominated. But Mad Max Fury Road, The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared, and The Revenant. But I think that Mad Max Fury Road will probably win this one. It should. It's definitely the best makeup of the group. Although there was some good makeup in The Revenant, but I don't know. I think Mad Max should win. Best original score: Bridge of Spies, that's Thomas Newman. Carol, Carter Burwell. The Hateful Eight, Ennio Morricone. Sicario, Johan Johansson. And Star Wars The Force Awakens, John Williams. So cool to see John Williams get a nomination. I actually wasn't expecting that. I would have loved to see Michael Giacchino for Inside Out. I loved that score. And I actually don't mind Thomas Newman for Bridge of Spies because I did like the score in that film. I think that in this case, I think that Ennio Morricone will win for The Hateful Eight. He's an incredible composer. I have no plans on seeing that movie. I will probably download the soundtrack because I just love his music so much. Okay, Best Original Song. This category is so wonky. Okay. Earned It, 50 Shades of Grey. Till It Happens to You, The Hunting Ground, whatever that is. Monterey, Racing Extinction. I guess that's a documentary. Writings on the Wall, Spectre, and Simple Song 3 from Youth. I'm surprised no Straight Outta Compton, but I guess all of those are... They must not have had any original songs in Straight Outta Compton. I don't know. I didn't see it. But I'd really love to have seen Priscilla On get nominated for When Marnie Was There. That song was so beautiful. But whatever. Okay. Best Production Design: Bridge of Spies, The Danish Girl, The Martian, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Revenant. I have no problem with any of these nominations except for The Revenant. How can The Revenant get nominated for production design? The whole thing is set outside. There's like seriously 15 minutes maybe of this movie that's not outside. That's the whole thing that makes The Revenant special. I mean, what is Inarritu get credit for the snow? You know, I mean, this is so ridiculous. Like, I mean, 99% of that movie is in the snow or in the river or in the forest. There's a few little scenes with the Indian village, but come on, that nomination is ridiculous. I think that Cinderella is more worthy. I think that Star Wars is more worthy. I think that, I don't know. I think that Carol is more worthy. I think that Brooklyn is more worthy. I mean, that production design was impeccable in Brooklyn. It's very strange. I do not understand the Revenant for production design. That is absurd. Okay, so best sound mixing. We have Bridge of Spies, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. I have no problem with any of these nominations, although I did think the best sound mixing of the year was in When Marnie Was There. Just that was so rich and lush and great, but I have no problem with any of these nominations. So sound editing, we have Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Sicario, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. Haven't seen Sicario, but the rest of these, no problem with any of those nominations. Could see any of them winning. Best visual effects, we have Ex Machina, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. I thought that maybe we might get Ant-Man might get nominated, because there's pretty great visual effects in Ant-Man, but no big problems with that one. So best animated short, The Bear Story, Prologue, Sanjay's Super Team, We Can't Live Without Cosmos, and World of Tomorrow. So I actually, in my best of animated shorts of 2015, I really tried to watch We Can't Live Without Cosmos and Prologue, but I could not find them. I could not access them. They look interesting, but I think that World of Tomorrow will win, and it should win. It was bold and different and crazy, and I still don't understand it, but it's definitely should win. So that's kind of my thoughts on these nominees. What are your thoughts? What was your big snub? What outraged you? What made you really happy? Put it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.